Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I'm doing this episode all the way from Nyandarua County in a place called Wajohi. So Wajohi is one of those rural centers, as you can see around, very close to Aberdare Forest and near Aberdare Ranges. So the far end there you are seeing is the foot of Aberdare, and as you can see there are some boda guys here and so many other, I would say, jobless youth. And I am here because I came to sensitize them about taxi driving. And to sensitize, I'm not here to market any of those companies, but anytime I meet young people around this area, and any other time when I go to my rural village in Oljabet, those are the sides of Laikipia, near Rumuruti, past Nyahururu. Every time I go there, I always meet young people who are a bit so desperate in the rural area, and when I meet them, I always speak to them about the opportunity of coming to the city and becoming a taxi driver. And why do I talk to them about this opportunity of coming to the city and becoming a taxi driver? A lot of you might say that I am misleading them to come and do a job that is not good. But always, in everything that we do, we always need to establish a baseline. When you say that something is not good for you, like, what is your standard of good? You get my point? What is your standard of sufficient income? Because these people who are in these villages, anytime when I discuss about how much money they make per day or per week, a lot of them will tell you honestly that they actually don't make more than 500 shillings. You see the boda guys who are around, they will maybe carry a maximum of 10 people, and each person will pay you maybe 50 shillings. So at the end of the day, you'll find that you will have made around 500 before even you subtract now the cost. But again, when you come to Nairobi and you start this business of taxi driving, the potential for you to make 1,000 and even more is there. As long as you work hard, you understand the dynamics of the industry, the opportunity to make more money is there. And some of you might say that the business is already saturated with cars and too many drivers. I am telling you from where I sit, and for the 2 years that I have interacted with investors and drivers, I can tell you there is a shortage of cars, there is a shortage of good drivers in Nairobi. There are some people I have helped to recruit drivers, and I can tell you in some instances it took us close to 1 month to get a person that you can rely on and give your car worth maybe $1 million plus to do business with. So from my perspective, and any other HR person, in these companies, so many young people are crying that there are no job opportunities. But when you speak with human resource specialists and talent acquisition professionals, they will tell you it is such a difficult job to get the right people for the right jobs. So the same thing, I believe that there are so many people in the city who purport to be good drivers, but their character cannot allow them to drive. Yes, they will get a car, they will drive around, but they will not make a career out of that job, because first of all, maybe their attitude is not right, they are not ready to run, and also their baseline is too high. I said that this business came to Kenya, the business of taxi services came to Kenya to serve a certain category of job seekers, and it is not for everyone. The way some people cannot take certain jobs because they pay below certain scale, the same thing, this job was not meant for people whose scale of salary was very high. And that's why I come to these villages, I speak to 2 or 3, 4 people, I advise them on how to come to the city to do boda, food delivery, or online boda, or just straight taking the cars and doing taxi business. And I can tell you, I have seen their lives change dramatically. There is a guy who came, he used to do construction work in Nyeri rather, and he used to be paid, I think, 500 shillings per day. Out of the 500, he used to consume 200 for lunch and maybe 50 bob for tea during the day. So at the end of the day, he used to go home maybe with 250 shillings. He came to the city. I gave him a place to live for a week before he could start driving. So he drove immediately. After 2 weeks, he found himself a bed sitter. And I am telling you, he invited me into his house like a month ago. after doing the job for 6 months, the guy has a 55-inch TV, like he has been able to buy a good seat, a 5-seater, he has a carpet, he can afford a 1 bedroom. So I am wondering, if we say that this business does not have money, then where is this gentleman getting all that money from? While for the 2 years he had done construction work in Nyeri, he wasn't actually able to buy even decent clothes for himself. So let us agree that taxi industry, for me, it will be one of the biggest sectors that will employ young people in this country. Why? Because if you look at the statistics of the cars we have in the city right now, I heard it from Bolt that they have around 40,000 drivers, and a lot of these drivers that Bolt have are the same that operate on Uber and other taxi companies. So for my estimation, I believe that there are maybe 40 to 50,000 registered cars, but maybe the drivers are more because not every driver has a car. But there are 50,000 registered cars in Nairobi as we speak. But let us look at the population of the city. Imagine, if you consider Nairobi as the metropolitan area, sorry, all the way from Kitengera. Actually, right now you can even talk about Isinya and Narok, because the city is expanding. Stretch it all the way to Thika Makongeni. On this other hand, go all the way to Gong, all the way to Waiyaki, until maybe up to Fly Viewpoint, I think so. You see, that area is so big, and people who work with Uber, they will tell you that they operate within the whole Nairobi metropolitan. They don't just operate within the CBD or just the nearby suburbs. They travel long distances. So the area in Nairobi that needs to be serviced by taxis has actually more than, I would say, 10 million people from my estimation, because Nairobi and Kiambu, sometimes, we were saying that the Nairobi metropolitan area had around 6 million in 2020. You get my point. But now the metropolitan area has expanded, and as we all know, rural urban migration is still happening and people are coming into the city. So having 50,000 vehicles is not enough. We need, and I said this, we need over 300,000 taxi vehicles in Nairobi, so that people can be serviced within a short time. You get my point? So that waiting times will be relatively short, and also the pickup distance will be very short for drivers. Right now, sometimes, let's say on Sunday, when some drivers are off because some will go to church, pickup distance increases because you will find so many requests, but not many drivers are near the request. So driver will have to travel maybe a kilometer or two to go and pick someone. And that is a question that every driver actually should be asking themselves. Before we complain that there is an oversupply of cars, ask yourself, how comes that you are called sometimes to pick a person who is 3 kilometers away if there was an oversupply? Okay, so I think that's how we need to see it, and we also allow the people who can benefit from this business to join the industry. Definitely, I will not advise someone who is earning 100k, 200k to quit their job to come into this job. No, that's not my advice, because in any case, you will not make more than maybe what you are making within your current job. But you see, when I come here, I love speaking to people here, and a lot of them have collected my contacts. I have guided them on the the type of papers they should have. I have told them that they need to go back to school to upgrade their driving license so that they can have one that is accepted for taxi driving. I have told them about the years of experience that they need. I have told them about the age. I have given them some indicators of potential income that they can make if they are doing food delivery business, when they are doing, boda using online platform, or even vehicles for the various categories. So, and that is the empowerment that we need to spread as young people. Let us not sit on opportunities, and let us not fear competition. Competition increases innovation, it increases creativity. And that's why I always tell drivers within the city, if you find yourself with other drivers, don't become like them. If you find 15 drivers parking at a shed, you don't just insert your car there and continue parking like any other person. In that middle of that competition, that's when you need to be creative. And that is what will make difference between drivers who make it within the city and those who complain every other time. And just to finish this video, I call upon every other driver, if this job is doing good things in your life, if you are achieving something by doing this job, let us not badmouth it. Let us not discourage people who need such a job from coming into it. Let us tell them what is the potential, but also we speak about the challenges, because the challenges are many. You get my point? Just like any other job. Okay, actually I was speaking to another person 2 weeks ago. That person told me that he earns 40,000 gross salary, and he goes to work from 7 to 7, so it's a 12-hour shift, 7 to 7. So that person has to leave the house from 6, so that by 7 he is at work, and then once he leaves work at 7, so he gets back into the house by 8 or by 8:30 or 9. So I was telling him, the 40,000 shillings you make, after deductions, maybe he will take home, let's say for purpose of discussion, 30,000 shillings. I told him, if you take an Uber vehicle and you work for the same number of hours that you dedicate to your employer, for this case 6 to 8 p.m., because he leaves the house at 6, so that he can be at work by 7. So if he opens his app at 6 in the morning and close it at 8 in the evening, I am telling you, he will make a minimum of 2 times what he is making with his current job. And there is no doubt about that. If you want to see me for the evidence, we call a few drivers to showcase their experience with those type of working hours and the amount of money they make. We can do that. So ladies and gentlemen, let us discuss this thing openly. Let us educate each other on the sides of challenges as well as on the side of opportunities, because I can tell you, all these young people here, my dream is that at least they will come to the city. They will not do Uber for life. So there will never be tough competition, because people will come there for, they do Uber 1 or 2 years, maybe they upgrade to something else, or maybe they get other jobs. You get my point? Because you come to the city, your view, or the way you view things will change, and it will open other opportunities. Right now it has really been a big problem for young people to find a way to leave the village to town, because some of them ask themselves, what am I going to do to the city if I come? They will get maybe jobs that will pay them 10,000, 7,000. That's not enough to sustain them into the city. At the same time, nobody is willing to host someone in their house forever. You can't just welcome someone into your house and tell them stay there until you get a job. No. But this taxi business, it is a very good entry point for people who want to come to the city and start a life. Maybe they will hold on it for a year or two, and then they get other businesses that they will do. So let us not become shy in sharing this opportunity with anyone that we think can qualify, so that they can have a share of the cake. And the more people who will have to take the cake, I think the next cake will be even bigger to serve every other person. So that's the information I had for you today. I hope I have not spoken too much, but anytime you guys in town, anytime you go to the village, you meet a young guy, please refer them to this channel. Let them watch this content. If they want personalized support, we can create time. Goodbye.